Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's going on, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. And man, oh man, I had to go ahead and do it, man. This video is going to be on Crackdown. Now, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with the hate Crackdown's been getting from biased media, different independent biased media outlets, and you've been seeing them criticize the graphics. And even though it's always been a shell shader graphical style game, you know, they're pointing out that, well, the way it looked from the E3, this looks like a downgrade. Is this a downgrade? And, you know, it's always interesting that, you know, these outlets who fancy themselves as being gaming journalists don't really do their actual research and look into it. And in my opinion, I don't really think they care or want to, because any chance they get to, you know, down a Xbox exclusive, for a lot of these biased outlets, they're just gonna do it. And this time and time again, we see this time and time again where they don't dig into the details and look into and research it and actually find out the truth and then report the truth. No, they go and jump on the fanboy bandwagon and and just jump on a hate train, whatever it is to hate on any exclusive, or they're all for it. And this is a classic example. So man, I reported before, and that, and even Phil Spencer has came out and spoke about this and said straight up, well, what he said common sense would tell you when it comes to development, that no, man, this was just a segment of the game that they were showing that didn't represent the final product. First of all, they're still working on the game, and that when it comes to the game's graphical visuals, with the 4K visuals, all that's not going to come until the final stages of the game, where they're finally putting on all the graphical shine onto the game. The game's still in development, so that wasn't what they were showing off here. They weren't trying to show that at this point. That stage of the game, they're still working on it. They haven't put that on. This was just a early part in the game that they were just trying to show a small segment just for people to see some gameplay. That's it. So basically, this wasn't a representation of what the actual graphics is going to look like, not in the slightest. And it looks like Microsoft is just really not trying to show that off just yet. But it looks like we got just a small leak, a little small peek of what that's going to look like. I'm going to go ahead and put that on stream, man. This was on Twitter, and this is actually on a story on, I'll go ahead and link in the description, on Terry, man. And basically a story on Terry, and him being a internet legend, and a character for Crackdown. But in that story, they put an image. Now I'm going to go ahead and put up. And as you can see in this image, now this is more of a representation of what we're going to actually see in the final product when it comes to Crackdown 3's graphics. We do know this is going to be native 4K, and this is what native 4K shell shader graphics looks like. So for any of you guys who's wondering, well, here you go. This is what it looks like. Man, this thing is so damn sharp. You can zoom into this thing and you're going to see the same crisp detail, whether if you zooming in or out. So that tells you what you're looking at. You're looking at 4K textures, man. And it's glorious, and it's kind of like, it's funny, man, because you don't see this on a lot of the Crackdown sites, like these type of pictures, man. They seem like they're kind of keeping it under wraps. And it's kind of funny because in a way, I think they're kind of trolling us, man, where they're just acting like, oh well, yeah, this is what it's gonna look like. It's like they're lowering everyone's expectations of what it's gonna look like, and then you're gonna be blown away when you see the actual game. It's like, that's what I feel like is coming, and I think this picture is a little peek into that, you know. And also it's interesting to see the haters in the biased media where they're coming out with all this stuff, and then just think of the crow they're going to be eating and the yolk that's going to be on their face when Crackdown, when Microsoft actually reveals what Crackdown actually looks like. It's going to be pretty funny, especially with all the crap that's being taught. And so, man, I just wanted to bring that up because it's obvious that, man, what we were looking at on this gameplay is not a representation of what the actual Xbox X native 4K images are going to actually look like when you're actually playing the game and when you actually get your retail version. I said this from the start when I was talking about this, and I'll say it now. It's pretty obvious. Like, to anyone who actually just dig into the details and look into it, it'll tell you that. Obviously, this gameplay is not a representation of what it's going to look like on Xbox X. That's just ridiculous. And that wasn't what they were even trying to show. As said by Phil Spencer, just basically coming down and saying the most obvious thing, that yeah, that wasn't that you know, that was just for demonstration purposes only, and that had nothing to do with what the final product is going to look like. But yeah, man, I just wanted to go ahead and do this video on this, man, kind of like shed some light on a lot of this hate. I mean, the media had the pitchforks out, the fanboys was all out there saying aha, you know, and you know, they're all trying to cast doubt on Crackdown 3 and bury it, because you know Crackdown 3 is one of the most anticipated games, and of course, just like always, like clockwork, either the media or the fanboys got to try to bury it before it comes out and make it look like it's terrible and it's not worth anything. And see, you know, Xbox don't have no exclusives. I mean, it's like it's just sad that it has to go to this level where people jump the gun before they even know what's going on, and then you have so-called gaming journalists doing the exact same thing as what fanboys would do. It's kind of telling of the climate that we're in. Now, the great thing is that a lot of this is kind of changing with some gaming media outlets. They're kind of seeing the writing on the wall, and they're kind of changing their ways and trying to act like now they're all of a sudden now they're you know, they're non-biased and they're neutral. That's what's interesting. GameSpot will be a good example. They're trying to come out with more neutral stuff nowadays. They're trying to act like, oh, for years now they ain't been biased against Microsoft. Now I think they're one of the first outlets that kind of seeing the writing on the wall and trying to straighten themselves out, which is a good thing. I mean, at the end of the day, them actually doing their jobs is what we actually want. That's all we wanted. Of course, you can give criticism to Microsoft or to any Xbox games or Xbox itself, but make sure it's fair criticism. It's actually criticism that's based on facts, and it's looking at the actual merits of the situation, as opposed to just, you know, basically perpetuating fanboy propaganda. You know what I mean? And that's what we've been getting a lot of for the past years, and it's good to see that that looks like a lot of that's starting to turn around, and we're actually just getting fair reporting from some of these outlets that is just stating the facts of the situation. So yeah, man, just wanted to get on that, man. Go ahead and dig into that. Let you guys know that, you know, who was worried, there ain't nothing to be worried about, man. Crackdown 3 is going to be beautiful. It's going to be gorgeous. And just as this, that sneak peek, just to let you know that you ain't got nothing to worry about. All right, man. Until the next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.